you had top 'em. Then you got Jeff, you got Jimmy, you got Eric, um, and now you got Jimmy Mayo. And how does he fit in that legacy?
You know, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of like these things are serendipity. What do you call it? Happy accidents. Things just happen to be. Somebody quit. Somebody joined. I mean, it's amazing the gene pool that came out of that area at that time. And I mean, these cats were like schoolmates. Like for instance, myself and Mike Landau grew up together. I mean, no, we're not on anywhere near that level, but you know, just the guy down the street that's real good, you go hang out with, and you know, you're trading, hanging out at each other's, parents' house, playing the guitar, driving your folks crazy, which is what everybody did back then. Now it's not uncommon. My kid's a guitar player, and I find myself sitting on the couch going, God damn, turn it down, I'm trying to watch TV. And I go, when I say it, I go, oh my God, I just said that. Like, what? This is awful. I can't believe, and then I catch myself, I go, crank it up, dude, go ahead. It's like,
I'm my dad.
Yeah, I've become my dad. It's like, it's really weird.
Father's noises.
Yeah, scratching my balls just like you did on the couch,
Here's the truth. I disagree, though,
What?
with you and Michael. That kind of camaraderie as guitar players growing up really just fuels each other.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's what, from what I've heard, talking to Jeff and some of the stories I've heard, that they were just, Jeff was the bad boy on the other side of the tracks, and Jeff was the, the kid on the other side, but they had this common bond. Love of, music and guitars and the blues, and they both have such different voices, in their own way. But they had, it was great to have a kid down the street that you can go hang out with and talk about the only thing that mattered to you. Because for me, it wasn't sports. I couldn't give a shit about sports, But, the guitar was the only thing that kept me from getting my ass kicked at school, because people thought it was kind of cool that I played the guitar. Because I was just a short little punk,
In your conversations with Jeff, any conversation at all about the Yardbirds?
Occasionally, it's just like, I wouldn't grill the guy. I mean, but I would listen, and he goes, oh yeah, like I'd be in London, and he goes, oh yeah, when I was with the Yardbirds, we were down the street here or something like that. I'd be like, wow, cool. Hearing it from the guy who was there.
What was his first guitar?
Jazz?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't like,
Had to be wasn't it really, obviously?
No, it's probably some like crap, acoustic guitar that they, borrowed, got out of a mail order catalog or something like that. I mean,
What was yours?
mine was I still have it. It was called a K, acoustic guitar. And my parents bought it for me on my 7th birthday with a copy of Meet the Beatles. It's changed my life forever. But you have to understand, this guitar was a piece of crap. I mean, it had like bolted on neck, you know what I mean? And the strings were like that far off the neck, and the neck was bowed, and like, and it was like, trying to play this thing was like your fingers would bleed after about a half hour of trying to make it happen. You had to put it down. And the strings were like, it was like basically a wound E string. You know what I mean? It was like really difficult to play. And I played that fucker for like a couple years before I got my first thrifty drugstore electric guitar, which was an Astrotone. And I had that for a couple of years, and then a friend of mine came over and broke the neck. And my parents were so pissed off, they said, well, we're not getting you another guitar. You better learn how to play the one with the broken neck. So I had to play a guitar with a broken neck for 2 years. So he found a new way to intonate. You basically take the headstock that was broken in the back, you go, it was really fucked up. Then I got the old Guitar Center down the street in 1971. My dad bought me a Les Paul Deluxe with the small pickups, which I still have.
Wow.
And I loved that guitar. I was like, I'd be, I've cleaned it, I worshipped it. It was like I really cherished having so many shitty guitars. I really appreciated having a great guitar. And it still sounds great.
Inspired you?
Yeah.
So, guitars have that tendency, to inspire you for different reasons, for different songs. A lot of people say, hey, this guitar has a song in it,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that. I mean, you pick up a guitar, if it sounds great, your hands just go somewhere, and all of a sudden you're making music that you wouldn't normally make. I mean, as soon as I got a great guitar, my playing jumped, like in a period of 2 months, jumped 100%.
The Yardbirds new songs, and you've only had an opportunity to listen to the record
Yeah.
a couple of times. The new songs, to me, stay real strict to the genre.
Well, they should. I mean, it would be silly for those guys to like try to be like, you know, Creed or something like that. You know? It's like, you know, what would be the point? They have to stay true to themselves, and I think that that's what they do. Now, to get all of us younger guys to come in and like, you know, it must have been strange for them because they're used to hearing it a certain way, and for them to look at us, go, wow, you guys did listen to those records, but. I mean, come on, those guys have played with the best there is, you know. So for even as good as we all might think that we are, or whatever, it's still, if it wasn't for, you know, Jeff, Eric, and Jimmy, none of us would be playing the guitar the way we play.
Here's this band that basically their lead singer dies. You know, the band kind of breaks up in different directions. Jimmy Page takes it off into a different direction, starts the new Yardbirds.
Right. We all know where that went.
And we all know that turned into Led Zeppelin. However, you know, here's the guys in the original band still, you know, yearning for well, basically they're musicians. They always will be musicians. And then 30 years later, you know, they decided, hey, we've got something to say again.
It's nice because I mean, you know, they have the new stuff and then the older stuff, the classics, with a new twist to it. I mean, it'll bring back the old fans out of curiosity, and maybe some of the younger people might clock it and go like, wow, what is that all about? I've heard of the Yardbirds, but I never heard them. You know, they're one of these legendary bands. I mean, it's not like they toured for 20 years and put out 100 records. I mean, there's not a lot to, you know, you have to really go back and listen, and when you do, they did so much in such a few years, and then all of a sudden disappeared. And here they are in the 2000s, so.
They played here at what is now Platinum Live.
Really?
But before it was Platinum Live,
It was
I remember
Sash. Sash, man.
And what it was before that, I have no idea. But
The Point After.
The Point After.
Yeah, because that's my neighborhood I grew up in. Yeah.
Well, in '63, they were the first band to play that club.
I have no idea what it was
Ventura
called.
Boulevard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right across from American Recording, which used to be there, the little green building.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of great records got made in there, you know.
Yeah.
Richie Podler's place, you know.
This is, you know, I'm real proud to be part of something, and maybe you can kind of just talk about, you know, how you feel about being a member of the flock, so to speak.
Well, I mean, it's just, you know, if you'd have told me years ago that I'd be doing this, you know, I mean, basically my whole career is like, if you'd have told me 30 years ago, I'd be sitting here right now talking about this, being a part of a community, like, you know, second, third generation or whatever, guitar players that have made a successful living playing the guitar and still love to do it. I mean, I still practice every day. I still give a shit about the guitar, regardless of whatever trends may be in or out. I mean, to me, the standard was set in the 60s when I came of age. I still dig out the, you know, I still dig out all my old records, you know, all the stuff that I grew up with, and it sounds, whatever's lacking in sonic quality compared to, like, you know, the kind of recordings that high-tech recordings you get now, it makes up for it 100 billion% in passion and originality. Because every time a record came out from that era, there was new stuff. There was a new somebody set the bar just a little higher. And that sort of like stayed that way until like about 1980, and it all came crashing down. Then it started to be called retro. You know what I mean? Let's go back, it's a retro sounding. Let's go get old guitars. Let's go try to do what they were doing 20 years before, but in a new way.